Your home is actually recognized as one of life's most stressful events when you go to selling it. So, I found the secret to reducing your stress levels actually begins with having a workable plan. So I've created a 30-day plan that can make this journey much less stressful and maybe just a little bit enjoyable. So if you're like most people living in your home, you may be wondering, wow, where do I start? How do I go from 0 to listing my house in the next 30 days? Well, in this video, we're actually going to give you a week-by-week guide of what you can do successfully to get your home ready for listing and showing in the next 30 days. So you may even be wondering, is this really even worth the effort? Well, the work you put into preparing your home to list can translate into 3 outcomes. Number 1, higher purchase price. Number 2, fewer days on the market. And number 3, more money in your pocket. So our goal with this step-by-step guide is to make your home more open, clean, and as inviting as possible. While your home is listed, you actually want to appeal to the masses and for potential buyers to envision themselves living there. So you want to use this time to work with your team of experts to ensure that your sale goes through really without a hitch. So I'm going to go through this timeline pretty quickly, and to save you from frantically trying to take notes, I've created a printable checklist which you can grab a copy of at the end of the video by clicking the link in the description box below. So let's start. Week number 1, get a handle on your belongings. In week 1, we start with dealing with your stuff. This is the week you're going to look at everything in the entire house, put it into one of 3 categories. 1 are things you need to keep and use while the home is on the market. So this includes things like toothbrush supplies and stuff like that. Category 2, things you want to keep but can be packed now, such as your seasonal items and valuables and excess furniture. Remember, you want the home to be as open and neutral as possible, and less is better when you're trying to sell your house. Category 3 are the things you don't want to keep at all the things you want to donate or sell, and decluttering, quite honestly, is very cathartic. It's similar to getting rid of the 500-pound gorilla off your back. It feels great when it's done. So the point of this exercise is really to get a clear picture of what category each item fits into. You'll apply the same process when dealing with your stuff on the outside as well. Plan for storage. You're going to come up with a plan for storing items you don't need right now. Those are the items from the category things you want to keep but can pack up right now. So, a couple of options. 1, just use your garage to store items. The garage has the least amount of emotional impact on the buyer's decision to purchase your home. If you can just neatly put the extra items in the garage, that'll be good. If that isn't an option, well then consider renting a storage unit or even ask a friend or family member if you can store those items at their place, temporarily. So that's it for week 1. Now let's talk about week 2, which is meet and hire a realtor. Now it's time to meet with your agent to go over the market value, the sales process, timing, concerns, and sign the paperwork. It is really better to get your realtor involved early into the process to avoid any unnecessary work. Also, having a second pair of eyes to go through the property, decide what needs to be done or not done prior to putting the home on the market is always very helpful. This is a good time to also address any concerns or advice you may need to get the house ready for photos and showings, which brings me to my next point: plan for showings. Plan for showings. So you'll come up with a plan for showings of when and how they'll take place and will be discussed with your realtor. It can be obviously tricky with kids and pets, but usually you'll have at least 2 hours notice, and if need be, can request more lead time if needed. So you want to have a plan to also quickly clean the high use areas such as the kitchens and bathrooms, have the beds made, and the clutter put away. So keep in mind again, the goal is to make your home easy to show as possible and not impossible to show. Next, start packing. And we're not talking about packing as a moving out type of packing, but we're just talking about packing as in making the house more open. So that being said, the method to the madness is to break your home and yard into 7 distinct areas, one for each day of the week. Each day, you're gonna do 2 things. Pack up the items you don't need right now to go into storage. And number 2, the items you no longer want, you're gonna move and get rid of. So, real pro tip on this is marking the items you plan to get rid of with blue tape or a sticky note to help you separate what you're gonna keep. You don't want to donate things that you want to keep. So once you've gone through each area and you're packed up, you're going to move those items into the storage that you've arranged in week number 1. Now, we're headed into week number 3. So, week 3 is donate and sell. You get to donate or sell any items that you no longer want to keep. So when it comes to selling items, especially online, using sites like Craigslist and Facebook Marketplace are really great options. It may make sense to do a garage sale, but again, the point of the video is to get your house ready in 30 days or less. And oftentimes to arrange all of that can be a bit challenging in terms of getting things out in time. So at this point, donating your items to a local charity can make a lot of sense because they can come by and pick up the items and give you a tax deduction. Obviously, that makes things a lot easier. This process obviously is a lot of work, but if you can stick to the schedule, you should just be left with things you want to keep and the things you want to use while your home is listed by the end of week 2. Can I get a round of applause? Yes. So, next on the list is make repairs. You may have identified some of the items needed to be done after meeting with the agent. And if you watch my video that's coming up regarding getting your home ready for your home inspection, you'll be way ahead of the game. And all you have to do is hit the subscribe and the bell icon to be notified when I have additional content available. Otherwise, now that you've gotten rid of all that stuff, you're going to walk around the house and look closely to make a list of any items that need to be repaired or inspected. Number 2, make a plan for which items you can do and which items you'll need to have someone else do. Then schedule those repairs or inspections. Your agent can actually help you with that process. Next is system maintenance and operation. So you want to make sure that your appliances are operating, your HVAC is properly maintained. So this includes getting your HVAC system serviced if it's past due, or even change the filters on the furnace now, and make sure that the smoke detectors are in each room and also one in the hallway. A carbon monoxide detector needs to be on each floor. So a 1-story needs only 1 carbon monoxide detector, typically in the hallway. 2-story obviously needs 2 carbon monoxide detectors, 1 for the upstairs and 1 for the downstairs. So the goal here is just to make sure you're prepared for what is going to be required, as well as alleviate any concerns as to the condition of the home. Now, the good news is we're coming down the home stretch, and we're coming down to week number 4, which is you're gonna hire a landscaper. And if you already have one, then you'll just want the landscaper to clean up the front and backyards. We're trying to make sure that your curb appeal is on target. It can be visually a deal breaker, right? If you have overgrown trees, which hide the house and shrink the backyard. And most buyers, well, they're going to decide to buy the home within the first 2 minutes of seeing your home. So the clock starts ticking from the moment they pull up in front of your house. So you want to make sure that the vegetations and the trees don't hide the home from the street, and your landscape should add to the curb appeal, not hide it. Next, hire a professional cleaner. You're going to also hire a professional to do a deep clean, and a deep clean consists of kitchen, bathroom, grout, windows, window coverings, plumbing, and light fixtures. Most often, you'll actually need to hire a carpet or floor cleaner to deal with the flooring services. Lastly, having the house pressure washed will give the outside of the house a chance to get rid of any dirt buildup, cobwebs, things like that. Then it's time for photos. Now that your house is pristine, schedule to have professional photography for your home. Now you want to complete your disclosure documents. You'll need to complete your seller property disclosure statement and your community association documents if applicable. Having this done now will allow the listing agent to provide these documents to a buyer up front, which can be actually very useful for answering buyers' questions even prior to submitting an offer. Next, you'll want to give the house key to your realtor, and your realtor will need a house key to install the lockbox, which again, this makes the house easy to show for realtors. That way you can take off and leave the home without having to be following the buyers around. Then you are ready to activate the listing. So congratulations. You're ready to activate the listing into the MLS, which means you're ready to begin showings for the home. Obviously, that was a lot to take in. And if you don't need to list your home in 30 days or less, simply just extend this timeline in a way that suits you. Obviously, give yourself some leeway. If you're running behind, remember to reach out to your agent and her team. They'll be able to assist you with any loose ends that you need to take care of. So your realtor should have a list of recommended vendors to assist you with any of the above items. And if you need some help to get some of those things and items knocked out, they'll be there for you. Now, the best way to tackle this checklist is to work your way one step at a time. Now, that seems pretty easy, right? Okay, listen, you are ready to list your home in 30 days or less. I'm April Dunn with April Dunn Real Estate, and when you're ready to sell your home, I'll be ready to help you make it a done deal.